almost every day is when I walk on the streets. Children pointing finger at me, saying, "See how you are walking. You walk very well."
Adebolu, could you please narrate to us your academic journey and how you emerged as the overall best WAEC result holder in Ajayi Crowther Secondary School?
I started going to school at the age of 4. But during that time, I was just going to school for going sake. I did not understand anything that they were teaching me. At the age of 6, we left Lagos to Idiroku, where I had this neighbor. Every night, when he's back from work, he would beat me, teaching me 3-letter words. Anytime I did not get a particular word very well, he would beat me. It got to a stage that I used to run away from this man. Whenever I hear the horn of his car outside, I'll jump on the bed, pretending to be sleeping. By the time I came back to Lagos, all my friends were already in primary 6 or primary 5. So my school that I was going when I was in Lagos back then, they broke down. I had to find a new school. In the aspect of finding a new school, I went to a lot of places where I was turned down because of my disability. So my neighbor just asked me to check in a school nearby, and I went there, and the man said they should just give me a test for a term and see how I will cope. And by that, I was brought from primary 6 back to primary 2, all because I could not write well. So from that primary 2, everybody in my house that they were in my age mate, they stopped talking to me. I was always indoor, reading on my own and trying to get the best I can on my own. I finished primary school and I was awarded as one of the courageous students of the school. I got into Morocco Comprehensive Junior High School, and while I was there, I decided that, okay, this is my time to turn the table around, because I see people that are much older than me in the same class as I am. So I decided that, okay, it's a race and it's time for me to run the race with them. I did everything I could, but I mostly stay in the library. So because I learned that readers are leaders. So I graduated from Morocco Comprehensive Junior High School, but a teacher told me to take transfer due to relocation of houses. I took transfer to Ajayi Crowther Memorial Senior Grammar School, Baiga. The school was an only boys' school, so I was like a stranger to everybody because I do not know anybody in the school. I decided that, okay, since I'm here now, I want to be in science class because that's the class that can profit me, and me making a vow to my grandmother to study in the medical field. So I told the principal, but they all turned me down, saying I can't stay in science class because I do not have coordination. As time goes on, they took me to medical school where the counselors advised me that they should just test me just for a term. I got into Ajayi Crowther during the 9th week, just 3 weeks to the exam, and I got the exam with 96 students in the class. I came out one of the top 10 students of that school at that time, and decided that, okay, since I could come on at that position, that they should try me for the entire term and see how it goes. And with that, I finished my school. And just one particular day, my school told me that WAEC is in the corner, so I should go and visit the WAEC office, telling them about my writing situation, because till now I can't write legibly myself. So I was taken to the WAEC office at Ikorodu, where they told me that a junior student can write for me, whereas I'll be saying the answer while they have been doing me saying the answer. And this went on during the period of my WAEC till I got all my papers finished. Then this particular day, I was just on my bed, just sleeping, and I got a call from my school counselor telling me to come to school. I didn't know why. But when I got to school, I saw that they wanted to award me as the best student of 2021 Ajayi student in WAEC. I felt really good because I have accomplished something that even those, when I was in primary school, those that left me behind could not accomplish. People mostly think that cerebral palsy is a disease, but actually cerebral palsy is just like a disorder of the brain. Some people living with cerebral palsy are on wheelchair because different people have their own different definition for cerebral palsy. But for me, cerebral palsy is a limitation to my movements and a limitation to my coordinations, because in my special ability, like I still call it, limits me from writing. It also limits me from buttoning my clothes on my own. So most of the time when I have tried to do this, not that I can't do it, but it takes me more than hours to button just one. And this can really delay me. And my disability in terms of how people react to me, because when I'm entering public transport, for example, some people tend to shift away from me. Some people tend to get off the bus because I just entered. And while I'm in school, some people withdraw their words because they believe that I'm their classmate, and stuff like that really affects me emotionally. But I try not to react to it. When I was much younger, my grandma called me one particular day asking me what will I become in the future. I told her a lot of different occupations, ranging from soldier, engineering, a lot of things. But she was like, can't I go and study medicine, become a doctor? I was like, no, but why? She just said she wanted me to become a doctor. Ever since then, that has been my aspiration, to be in the medical field in order to make my grandmother proud of me. As I know thus, when you know and you accept your problem, you have found the greatest solution to it. Because if you say that, okay, you have cerebral palsy, and you lock yourself in, or you lock your world with cerebral palsy indoor, I tell you this today, tomorrow, that boy or that girl you lock indoor will become a liability to you. But if you leave them to allow them grow wings and fly, tomorrow they will be the one helping and caring for you in order to pay you of all your work there. So, as a parent, if you have a child with cerebral palsy or any kind of disability, try and get to the talent of the child. Get to know what the child wants and try and encourage the child to socialize. Because when he socializes and people see him and they don't see his special ability in him, but they see him as an human being, it will go miles more than you ever thought, more than you ever think about. And my advice to the government is that they should spread the news more, give out information, and a lot of healthcare facilities can be done to people with cerebral palsy in order to help them accomplish their full potential in life. One of the most unpleasant experiences I ever had was when I was in GS1. That day we were having literally a debate section on the assembly. They just called us out and we were all outside. So they were like, we should go back to this class and bring out our chairs so we can just sit down on the assembly instead of standing. And I turned back saying that I should go and get my chair. All your students just rush on me, stepping me on the floor. I actually had the taste of sand that day. All my white school uniform, they turned into brown. A lot of people stepped on my head that day. And another notable experience I had was on the Palm Bridge on year 2020. While I was climbing the bridge, my shoelace on loose. So while I was trying to hook it up, someone pushed me. I was just lucky that I was near the ground and near something I could hold tight in order for me not to fall and hit my head. And the third one that I mostly experience almost every day is when I walk on the streets. Children pointing finger at me, saying, "See how you are walking." Walk very well. I just smile. And I even in my mind that, well, I do not understand, so I should not get angry about it. Although this kind of things, they mostly used to put me down. But I decided that, well, they are children. I don't understand yet, so I forget about it. When I was much younger, before I started socializing with children of my age, there was this particular neighbor I used to have, Bobo and Esther. When they said I'm inside the room thinking, they would come and drag me from my room upstairs. We would play together and they really kind of built my confidence in talking. In fact, the most pleasant experience I ever have is being a child with cerebral palsy, because I'm very, very proud of my special ability. When I think about me without it, I used to see myself, instead of reading, playing football or walking around the street with no aim. So this kind of thing, they won't put me in the position I am in now. Due to my cerebral palsy, I met a lot of incredible people that are sponsoring me. People like Yanuwa Children Care Foundation, people like Anthony Coupe, people like Manola CP Foundation, and a lot more that are helping children with cerebral palsy. Through them, I've been able to meet the governor of Lagos State. I've been able to meet the owner of Ife, and a lot of remarkable people in Nigeria. So me having my disability is the greatest joy that I can ever have. For now, since I'm not more in school, I use my Saturday to build videos telling the world on Instagram about people with cerebral palsy, using myself as an example.